I did this layout now, and this is just September, it will have already, her list would have already changed. She's reading a new book series, she's watching new TV shows. So
how do you keep track of all that information, though, so that when you scrap it, because if I don't scrap it right today.
Right. No, if this had been her in 2004, I would not have had that information quite so much.
So it's something we need to keep a notebook of.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm finding I'm missing.
Yeah, I have a notebook in my purse at all times. So if I think of something, I remember.
Okay, I'm terrible with names, so I'm just going to go ahead and wait first here and then there.
Stephanie.
Yes, Stephanie.
I was
See, I know you help the old.
Well, you do that. I mean, I've done that way for years. If you have a smartphone, there are applications you can use they're voice recording applications. There's one called iTalk.
I got to upgrade to that first.
Yeah, well, but I don't know if other smartphones have, like Android. There are lots of applications out there that you can use the recorder, and I do it. Like if I'm in the car and I have a thought, I whip it out and I talk into it, and then I got it.
Yeah, for all of you that are really lucky and have a phone like that.
Yeah. But again, it may, Android. I mean, just about probably any phone these days probably has an app like that.
Ashley, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was going to say that when I'm being diligent about it, I have a personal blog that our family all looks at. And if I'm being diligent about it and uploading pictures and I'll just type stuff out then a lot of times if I'm going back to scrap those pictures, a lot of times I can just copy and paste most of the stuff that I've posted. And then I have journaling on my photos. But if I don't do that, then I'm like, what was going on there? And so then they just get titles and dates.
If there is a picture that is older and you really are wanting a lot of journaling, that is when I tend to say, I remember you or I can't believe you are 16, but in this photo you were 4. I'll tend to do that kind of journaling. Go ahead to the next. Okay, I love to do journaling that guides the eye or that has justification is where you line up one side or the other or both of your journaling. Don't always do right justification or centered. You really want to do something that's different. So here I've got right justification, and then I purposely made it so it kind of slides down the page, and it's also counting down numbers. So this was also an STS challenge several years ago. So
it's really cute.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey, now it was one of the wonderful STS designers, not me.
Were you ready to change?
Oh, yes, thank you. We're starting to read each other's minds. So. This was kind of another fun idea. And being an English major, I forget what it's called when you put the picture in. Is it a rebus? Okay, so this is a rebus. And Kat, is this your kit? Anyway, this is it's not yours. I don't remember whose it is. I don't remember whose kit this was. Is it yours? Oh, yay! I loved all the little elements, little boy kids elements. And so I just had to include them, but I'll admit, I'm not a big theme element put on pages. I just have a real hard time with it. I don't know why. But they were just too dang cute. So instead, you guys all, I love your voice off your trucks. Anyway, so yeah, that's just another fun way to fit it in. One thing I also try to do a lot, I want my journaling to be a part of the design on the page. So you notice I really do try to line them up or to make them so it's not the journaling you see first, but its journaling is right there tied in with pictures. Okay, this is an example of kind of what not to do. My son loves, he's a great kid, but he loves to kind of think he's kind of gangsta. But, so I thought, I'm going to put a cool font on there. But what's wrong with it? You can't read it. Sadly enough, I've already printed this, and anyway. But it is a list, but you can't see that he likes airsoft guns. It's too, so I love fonts. My fonts, I have so many saved, but I save those for my titles. For your journaling, it should be clear, easy to read on the eyes. Okay, and next. Okay, another thing is, don't be afraid to do white on black, paper strips, that type of thing. And this is actually a full paragraph cut up into paper strips. Okay. They tend to say only use one font, But every once in a while, like I said, I love to take my title into my journaling. I think it's a great way to help my journaling. And anyway, this one, if someone has a challenge or a quote, I say, okay, can I journal about this? And so this one, we live with my in-laws, and he is now 87, and we didn't ever think our kids would know them. And now that they live, we share a home in a daylight basement. My 4-year-old loves Grandpa, and is really learning to do a lot of things with duct tape. And so anyway, I really wanted to highlight that. So repeating a phrase, I think the quote was another day. Repeat the phrase. It very simply falls in place. Okay, next. I love to work around my elements. And if this is your kit, shout it out. This is my kit. I consider myself an intelligent person, but not always there. Okay. If your kid's up here, say, oh, that's mine, or if that's your template, because I have used anybody's and everybody's, and I'd love to give yourself a shout out. Anyway, I love, does everyone know how to do this where it's justified solid? Okay. It's, is it Alt-Shift-J? Well, okay, this cat, I'm having a cat moment because you do something so often, but when you go to teach it, what is it again?
I think it's Control-Alt-J, isn't it?
See. I'll do it later and tell you because I'm on the spot and like Kat knows you can't. Anyway, whether you're in Word or almost any Photoshop, any program, I'll give it to you in a little bit. But all you hit is this. This is what you hit, and it will justify both sides. It'll spread your words out. Hey, Adam, to give you a nice, neat box. But then I fiddle with it because sometimes I like my element leaves to slightly cover words if they're not real important. But it's fun to mess with them. It takes some time, but follow your elements.
How do you?
Oh, yeah.
How do you do that? Like I just happen to go. I have to do another text box, put it down there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do.
A whole lot of space.
Yeah.
It is.
That's the only way to do it.
But I think for me, I don't want this to be a writing assignment when I'm doing it. I do want it to be fun. And why are elements fun? Because you get to puzzle piece them together. And that's kind of how I view my journaling. Because, when I first did this, it was all one box. And it is tricky because I would have to hit enter and shoot this over, and then I have this big thing. It is tricky, but that's what makes it fun, is because I'm not just plopping it on the page as an afterthought. So, isn't he silent in those glasses? Okay.
It's Control-Shift-J.
Thank you. It is Control-Shift-J. Control-Shift-J. And I think you have to have your text highlighted.
I was actually typing when I did it.
You did, okay. Control-Shift-J. Love it, love it, love it. So how many learned something new already? Woo! Okay. This is journaling, and I did nothing. My daughter for our church had her baptism, and while we were blowing her hair dry, we had people write little notes to her, so I simply scanned them. So there's the journaling. Okay, next. Okay, Dana made these awesome templates, and I just realized she hasn't gotten them into the store, so we'll do that this afternoon. So this was very, very tricky. I just did this one last week. And this is another way of doing journaling. My son was born in 1997. He is a basketball maniac. So what I put on here I looked up what was going on in basketball in the year he was born. Now this was very tricky because, if you can look, it kind of bugs me because it's kind of skewed, but I'm not real good at doing the rounded thing, and it was the best I could do. But anyway, so those are not my words, they're straight off the internet, just facts. So, okay?
Wait,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
that's a really interesting issue. And that is the issue of how you credit where they came from. What are our obligations and personal...
On that page, it was just facts and dates. Yeah, it wasn't an article. It was simply that Kobe Bryant was the NBA All-Star Slam Dunk champion that year. So I didn't need to credit. Yeah. But this is where I am bad. A lot of times when I do quotes, I don't like the look of the name underneath it. But this, which I guess technically in a gallery I should credit, okay, Abraham Lincoln said this, but on my own page at home, I don't care. That's my view. Anyone want to argue on that?
Just the librarian.
Yeah. Okay. Next. All right. I love, once again, this is kind of bulleting. I added some little flowers.
That's like it.
Oh, yes, it is. This is one of my favorite kits. It is so cute. Is it Fresh and Funky?
No, it's funky now.
Hey, I was close. Okay, so yes, this is Cat's kit. And once again, I just love the colors. But I just highlighted certain parts in the name. Okay, and next. Okay. Adding color to your journaling. And this is one, I do tend to justify both sides so they're even. But this is one, I wanted it to be visually different. And these are actually my words, but I wrote them so it almost sounded like a weird poem. But anyway, the things I wanted her to notice when she saw this, her brothers aren't very nice to her. They're typical, they're not very nice older brothers. And I just wanted her to realize that she's strong, believe in herself. And so those I popped with color. And once again, I didn't think it would look as good if it was just really thin. And so I made it so that it was nice and spread out. Okay? All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You haven't seen that one? Or you remember
that.
Oh my gosh.
If you did it for something else and everybody went, oh my God, and you're like, this was like 2 years ago.
I think I was doing word of the week and I let you guys pick your own word.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, don't forget about the crap that happens in your life and scrapping it. This is actually a really funny story, but I mean, I'll tell it really fast, really fast. He had a broken leg at this time. That's how bad this is. So he's in a stroller and we're going to the park. And there was a huge flock of seagulls right there. And being the wonderful, awesome mom that I am, he's in the stroller and it's just one of those little umbrella ones. I said, do you want to go scare the seagulls? And he said, yeah. And so I start running, and there was this little clump of grass coming out of, you see where this is going. And I didn't see it. That stroller stopped and went, he just went straight on the ground. I flew, when I got up off the ground, from flying over him, he was clear back there. I would have paid money to have seen what we did, but it was awful. I was pretty big though too. Oh, he still has a dent, but Moderna got the scar away. Oh, yeah, it was pretty bad. But it's kind of funny too. Story, not what happened to him, but the story and how it happened. I would hate to forget those details. So, yeah, don't be afraid to. Yeah, go ahead. Everyone's getting queasy, so let's. Okay, this is just another. Okay, it's a birthday. What else do you say? So it was just one that, just add some little thoughts of what a birthday is. Okay, next. Okay, just another way of highlighting. I put each of these, like this book right here. I said, stupidest, lamest book ever. Didn't even finish it, and I always finish books. I'm sorry. What's it say?
I'm sorry she didn't have enough money to get her $500 haircut. Boo-hoo.
Okay. I didn't want to just highlight this. And I'm pretty specific. I said on this one, great book. Could have done without some of the yuck that was in it. But I'm honest with myself because I will not remember this book otherwise as much that I didn't care for it. Anyway.
You don't want to have to read it again.
I do not want to read it again or purchase it again. Interviews. Interviews are a fun, great way to have I don't care if it's a college student, a grandchild, or a toddler. It's just a lot of fun. What is your favorite primary song? A car song. You don't sing car songs in primary. Let's see. Yes, I do. No, you don't. What do I sing? Popcorn popping, Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, I'm a child of God. I sing Cars Fall in. Will you read this, Dana?
Cars Fall in the Water.
And then he laughed.
No, I sing
did the little streak. Anyway, you see where this is going. But, so yeah, holding an interview is a great way, and you don't have to do any work other than quickly write down ridiculous things they're saying. So, okay. Your title can be your journaling. And okay, I had several people ask me in Facebook and in the gallery, how long did you leave him there? Okay, I have one picture where he's going, and then I went and saved him. So, but yes, your journaling does not have to be a book. Oh, thank you. And he's spoiled. There's a 7.5-year gap between him and my next oldest. So yeah. Anyway, who agrees that this is journaling? It tells a story, and that's all you need to do. Doesn't have to be a book. Okay. Another fun thing to do that I think I often forget is these are besides justified is to do a newspaper column. Simply, and once again, it is a little bit of work. Okay, did I just repeat that line again? But do a newspaper style. Okay. Ask a question. Simply ask. We on our first day in Hawaii. Tammy, I mentioned your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. This was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, simply ask the question, how do you pout on such a brilliant Hawaiian day? Okay? Ask a simple question. Does that tell the whole story? I mean, I don't know. I don't remember the next day why he was pouting, but that doesn't matter. It's just, how do you do that? Pout in Hawaii. Okay, next. Okay, this is Cat's Kit. And I did write this poem. Kids love rhyming. They love Dr. Seuss. They love poems. So it isn't much of a birthday blast when they go to the doctors and they put on a cast. Okay, that didn't take the scientists to write that, but Mom wrote it, and of course I didn't claim it because if you didn't like it, okay, someone else wrote it. Okay, next. Okay. I try to do some things that are kind of different. Now some people would read this and go, what? But I kind of do want that free verse feel. So it kind of doesn't have periods. It's the first cabin trip. You were 1. You tormented Hannah, who was 2, constantly. Only that year, since 2001. Oh, it's only that year. Yeah, like I said, it's real. Anyway, it's just different. Who knows what I was thinking? Okay, next. Once again, I love to make it an element on the page.
It's Tammy's word art.
Tammy's word art. Very cool. And I think this is a Scraps and Pieces Girls Camping is what I think it is. So, yeah, Tammy's word art. Okay.
Were you ready?
I was ready. Like I said, this is just another example of making it a part of the style. And don't be afraid. I know I'm not talking about titles, but they so often coincide. Don't be afraid to split up your title. It guides the eye down the page. Okay, next. Quotes. What is your name? Because I just enjoyed you this whole time. Marianne. Marianne mentioned quotes. Once again, I did not say who said this, but some people say, okay, how did he break his arm? Well, if you knew my son, you know there's only one thing he ever does, and that is basketball. So I didn't need to tell the whole story, that he was simply at practice and fell down and broke his arm. And so, to me, that epitomizes the whole thing. And again, don't be afraid to make, is that all one font? It's really blurry when I'm here. Is it all one font? Okay. Don't be afraid to make one word bigger, different color, different size. Okay, next. Or yes, bold it. This is also Cat's Kit, right? See,
No, it's
I'm pretty sure it is.
yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
My brain just said cat the minute I opened it up. So, once again, it's very obvious what he's doing, but I wanted something in there, and so just what I've done simply is you bold some, and then you turn down the opacity. Does everyone know what opacity is? If you don't, I'll just ask you later. You turn down the opacity on others. Okay, next. Yeah, I don't know why that. Oh, it's just right, justified. How many of you have ever justified it on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid to do that because the right side is more straight where the other one's crooked. So, okay, next. Okay, this is just showing, that was just a car element. Now, of course, normally you wouldn't take an element and blow it really big because it gets pixely. But if you turn down the opacity, then you've got kind of something neat to go behind. Okay, next. This is just another example of using the journaling. That's our new puppy, and I don't like dogs, and I love her. Of using journaling as a design element. Okay?
Well, I love the title. How it's and it's lined up against.
Oh, well, thank you. All my layouts are scrap listed. I can't take any credit. So, okay, what do you guys notice? It's one layout, just constantly revolves. Okay, what do you guys notice about this layout with the journaling? As far as the journaling is concerned. Okay, what was that? It makes the whole thing a box. Yeah. And I will admit, why do you think I added age 3.5 here?
To fill it in.
I'm so anal, it's so bad. So, yeah, it doesn't always have to be that way. Okay? Definitions are another great way. What was fun about this layout is the first definition is actually straight out of the dictionary. Thank you. The dictionary, and the second one is my own definition of what she is to me. So, okay, next. Don't be afraid to put your part of your title smack over the journaling, using a thinner font to let your journaling peek through. Okay, next. Okay, once again, this is just a good way to highlight your picture. I did, once again, right here, you can see I just had to tweak it right here. This is oh no, it's not Mrs. Scrubs. Okay, next. This is another one of Dana's templates that I'll put in the store later. This again took a long time to journal. It's actually like a psalm or something like that. Anyway, so I put it on there. But it becomes part of the whole page.
How did you do that?
The what?
The journaling.
If you look, this one wasn't as bad as mine. They're actually not if you look real close, these aren't curved. Because the box is so small, it didn't matter. The other one, I had to curve it. And then anytime you curve fonts, it kind of goes, and skews it. But this is so tiny that if you look at the top, I just go, it's not. It's just copied and pasted. This one was also nominated for Okay, next. Lists. This is actually only half the page. This was a thankful list. So I did 100 things that I was thankful for. And I really don't care what anyone else thinks about my list. It was all for me. But lists are a great way because, you can't sleep, just start writing a list. Okay, next.
Is the other side same?
Go ahead and go back. Yes. The other side, this big circle, it's exactly the same. And it's just that I am